Hello and welcome. Now we are going to study the MCQ and its answers on the chapter how, when and where. Dear students, as you know, yesterday I taught you this topic and gave you the link via YouTube so that you studied it. In comparison to class 7, your viewing is very less. So I again appeal to all of the students that they should go through the video and they should study the topic. They should also put the like button so that I could know what is the choice of the students, what is the opinion of the students regarding our course. So now the multiple choice questions should be discussed. First I will ask you the question. You should have a brainstorming because after listening the question you should give the answers and then I will dictate you the right answers. So let us have our session regarding the multiple choice questions. Now the first question, history is synonymous with, four options have been given: people, dates, kingdoms and wars. What is the right choice? You do it, then we will come to the right answer. Second question, dates become important when we focus on option 1 social changes, then general events, particular events and cultural changes. Third, according to Mill, which societies were at the lower level of civilization than Europe? First Asian, then British, third Indian and fourth American. D, periodization of Indian history into ancient, medieval and modern was an idea borrowed from India, British, past or west. What is the right choice? You have to put the right choice. Usually census operations in India are held in the interval of every 5 years, every 7 years, every 10 years or every 20 years. What is the right choice? You have to put forth. Next comes the question, the first Governor General of India was Lord Dalhousie, Warren Hastings, Lord Canning or Lord William Bentinck. The right answer should be put by. So I am giving you 10 seconds. Within this period you should put forth your right choice. So then we will come to the answers. Okay, time is over. Another question, James Rennell produced the first map of India in which year? Options are 1785, 1885, 1782, 1830. Now come to the right answers. You see, history is synonymous with dates. Dates is the right answer. Dates become important when you focus on a particular event. Suppose you are focusing on your personal life, then whenever you born and when any important achievement is made by you are important events. Then third question, according to Mill, which societies were at the lower level of civilization than Europe? The right answer is Asian. He opined that Asian societies were at the lower level of civilization than Europe. Next question, periodization of Indian history into ancient, medieval and modern periods. This idea was borrowed from the West. Usually census operations are held every 10 years. As you know, in 2011 the census took place. Then in 2021, next year, the census will take place. The first Governor General of India was Warren Hastings, who became the Governor General in 1773. Then comes The question: James Renell produced the first map of India in 1782. Next, question number 7. A history of British India was written by, four options have been given: Mahatma Gandhi, Lord Mountbatten, James Hill, Dadabhai Naroji. So what is the right answer? You should put forth, then we will come to the right answer. Next question: the British thought surveys were important for effective administration. Option 2, effective judgment. Option 3, writing history. Option 4, none of these. Next comes the National Archives of India came up in the year 1920, 1930s, 1940s, 1950s. Next, the British preserved official documents because option 1, they preserved the documents to reveal the progress. One can study the notes and the reports which were available always. Their copies may be made and used in modern times. Fourth option, all of these. Next question: who was the last Viceroy of India? Lord Ripon, Lord Mountbatten, Lord William Bentinck, Lord Wellesley. So what is the right answer? You should write. I am giving you 10 seconds. Within this period, you should put for the right answer so that we could cross check with the model answers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now question number 7. A history of British India was written by James Hill. The British thought survey were important for effective administration. Effective administration is the right answer. National Archives of India came up in 1920s in New Delhi. The British preserved official documents because they thought the documents reveal the progress. One can study and note the reports, and their copies may be made and used in modern times. So all of this is the right answer. Who was the last Viceroy of India? Now, Lord Louis Mountbatten, who was the last Viceroy of India and who was instrumental in giving India independence. So next question, you see, when New Delhi was built, the National Museum and National Archives were both located close to the option 1 Supreme Court, option 2 Parliament House, option 3 Viceregal Palace, option 4 Red Fort. Question number 13. An advertisement for Lipton tea suggested that royalty all over the world was associated with this tea. When did the advertisement appear? Options are 1920, 1925, 1922 and 1932. So, after these multiple choice questions, now fill in the blanks. First question, dash is certainly about changes that occur over time. Before the British came to India, dash ruled over India. The first map of India was created by whom? The National Archives of India was set up by dash. Dash became the first Governor General of India in 1773. The colonial government gave much importance to the practice of dash. Historians have usually divided Indian history into ancient and dash periods. The history of British India is a massive work of dash volumes. How many volumes? Mill thought that all Asian societies are at a dash level of civilization than Europe. The British established specialized dash institutions like and to preserve important official documents. So 10 seconds have been given to you. You get prepared. Then we shall go to the right answer. Yes. When New Delhi was built, the National Museum and National Archives were both located close to the Viceregal Palace. Okay. Now, when New Delhi was built, the National Museum and National Archives were both located close to the Viceregal Palace, the Palace of Viceroy, where now Rashtrapati Bhavan is located. An advertisement for Lipton tea suggested that royalty all over the world was associated with this tea. When did the advertisement appear? In 1922, where Prince Arthur was shown in the advertisement on the horseback. Fill in the blanks. Dash is certainly about changes that occur over time, and history is certainly about changes that occur over time. Next, before the British came to India, Muslims ruled over India. It was the Mughal Empire which was ruling over India. The first map of India was created by James Rennie. The National Archives of India was set up by 1920s. Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India in 1773. Warren Hastings is the right answer. Now, state whether each of the following statements are true or false. The British were very particular about preserving official documents. Printing began to spread by the middle of the 20th century. The periodization of Indian history offered by James Mill was not at all accepted. The British carried out detailed surveys by the early 19th century in order to map the entire country. James Mill glorified India and its culture in his book A History of British India. Whether these statements are right or wrong, if they are true, you put a tick mark, and if it is wrong, you put a cross mark. Then comes another question. Fill in the blanks with appropriate words to complete each sentence. The colonial government gave much importance to the practice of dash. Historians have usually divided Indian history into ancient, dash and dash periods. The history of British India is a massive dash volumes. It comprised of dash volumes. Mill thought that all Asian societies were at a dash level of civilization than Europe. The British established specialized dash and dash institutions alike and to preserve important documents. Again, true or false? The same questions have been repeated. Now have a glance. Right answers. The colonial government gave much importance to the practice of surveying. Surveying is the right choice. Historians have usually divided Indian history into ancient, medieval and modern periods. A History of British India is a massive 3-volume work written by James Mill. Mill thought that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. The British established specialized archives and museums institutions like to preserve important documents. Statement whether true or false. The British were very particular about preserving official documents. Yes, it is a right choice. Printing began to spread by the middle of 20th century. No. By 15th century, printing became popular. The periodization of Indian history offered by James Mill was not at all accepted. No. All the Western historians, they subscribe to the attitude of British. So, this is a wrong choice. It is not a right choice. So, it is wrong. The British carried out a detailed survey by the early 19th century in order to map the entire country. Yes, the choice is right. James Mill glorified India and its culture in his book A History of British India. Wrong, because James Mill glorified the West, not the East or India. So, with this, our MCQ session have come to an end. Yesterday, I posted all the question answers in the comprehensive capsule. So, you should refer and write down the answers in your notebook, get in touch with YouTube and my channel, and also subscribe to my channel, and maximum viewing should be there so that I could get the first hand impression that all the students are utilizing the academic resources which have been sent by me, which have been uploaded by me in the YouTube. Because you know students that Google Meet application sometimes becomes erratic, so I am not able to get in touch with you. So YouTube is the channel through which I could know that how many viewers are there from our school, those who are viewing my academic videos. So get in touch with my YouTube channel Durgacharan Nanda, and the link would be sent to you via the WhatsApp created by me. You should always be in touch with the YouTube channel to see my new uploads, and you should always press the bell button for getting new notifications, and you should like my channel so that more and more videos could be posted. Thank you very much. Have a great day.